Carl Jung said, "Awaken and shine your light for others to follow. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is an invitation to move differently in the world, to operate from a place of deep knowing and alignment. I'm Adrienne McDonald, and welcome to the Source Code Podcast. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful humans. Grab a cozy beverage and let's get into it. Sometimes when I am struggling on what I'm going to speak about on this podcast, I will grab an oracle card. And this week has been a lot, so that's exactly what I did. I grabbed a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and we got the Horseman. So today we are riding with the Horseman. Not literally, unless you happen to be on horseback right now, which would be pretty cool, but metaphorically. And we're going to explore the current human design sun gate, which is the gate of crisis. And we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon in Virgo eclipse and whatever else comes to mind. So we are in a very potent, energetic time. The sun is in human design gate 36, which is the gate of crisis. We have a very powerful full moon eclipse in Virgo that probably will have already occurred when you listen to this episode, because it will drop after the peak, but you will continue to feel that for a while. And if you feel like something's shifting, like you're standing on the edge of the unknown, if you're not really imagining that, there's been a lot of astrological activities this week. We had Saturn Cazimi, and a turning over of a cycle there. And here's the thing, though. We're not here to spiral into fear. And this episode is about reframing crisis into more of curiosity, adventure. Might bring in some incarnation cross stuff, and riding into the next phase with a little bit more clarity and confidence, because that's what happens during these astrological events. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really done with the doom and gloom narratives. I keep it real, but the hyper focus on negativity is just very wearing. So let's talk about what's actually happening and how you can work with it in a way that's empowering and not paralyzing. So let's start with the oracle card that showed up for this episode, the Horseman. The wisdom of that card is clear. It says, be a herald of the positive. Put away the fatalistic attitude, the dire predictions, the dreadful expectations. Be sure there is substance to the news you spread, that you are willing to live up to the expectations you raise. Now, I know we're living in a time where change feels big, fast, and sometimes overwhelming. I'm not trying to minimize that. But the Horseman reminds us that we are the ones that are carrying the message forward. And so the question is, what kind of message are you spreading? Are you stuck in fear? Are you repeating stories of crisis? Is your nervous system dysregulated? Or are you seeing the bigger picture and choosing to move forward with more clarity? Are you shedding? Because right now, just about everybody I talk to feels like they are shedding something. Because that's what the collective energy is in the universe right now. So Gate 36 in human design is all about emotional transformation through experience. And, sometimes those experiences are not super comfortable, but we're not here to be super comfortable all the time. It's the energy of trial and error, initiation. Like, this is a real vibe of initiation going on right now through real lived moments. But there's a choice. Do we see it as a change for something happening to us, or something that's, okay, there is purpose in this? And let's talk about the Virgo full moon eclipse, because this is not just another full moon, it's also an eclipse. So what eclipses do, they reset the playing field. They illuminate what's not working so you can either refine it or release it. Because eclipses are really powerful cosmic events that they act like They act like portals of transformation. They bring endings, beginnings, moments of deep realignment, deep shedding. They occur when the sun and the moon and the earth align. They temporarily obscure one celestial body from the view, symbolizing a reset in consciousness. That's what that goes on. Now, with solar eclipses, which happen during a new moon, they usher in new opportunities, fresh starts, unexpected shifts, while lunar eclipses, which is what we are experiencing last night today, only occur on full moons. And they bring culminations, revelations, emotional clarity. Eclipse seasons, which happen roughly every 6 months or so, are intense periods of change where patterns speed up, karmic cycles close, significant life shifts occur, and unlike regular lunations, eclipses tend to feel like something is unavoidable, like it is a catalyst for something. They often shake loose what no longer serves, opening doors we didn't know existed. It can be subtle, but it also can be dramatic. So these celestial events remind us that life is constantly in motion, urging us to trust the unfolding of our path. It really is a bigger ask of our self-trust. So Virgo energy, which is what this lunar eclipse was in, is all about discernment, refinement, purification. It asks what's working, what needs to go. Where have I been overcomplicating things? Again, it really gives me the shedding vibes. But here's the trap of Virgo. Virgo can get caught in perfectionism. It's waiting for the perfect plan before taking action. And that's where gate 36 really comes in, because sometimes the only way to know is to do, because this is a moment, an opportunity of letting go of outdated stories, narratives, and decide which story you really want to live, not keep coming back to, but which story do you really want to live? Because remember, you're the horseman. You're delivering the message. But what is the message that you're living? Now, let's shift gears here to see something that I see misunderstood all the time. In fact, it was something that I struggled with in the beginning too. The incarnation cross in human design. Now, if you've looked up your incarnation cross and said, "Oh, but what does that mean?" You're not alone. And here's the thing: your incarnation cross is not a job title. Like, I have the right angle cross of service. It's not a to-do list. It's not a one-size-fits-all mission. I know somebody else that has the same incarnation cross as I do. We have two totally different views on what we are here to be in the world. Your cross is a theme that you grow into through your lived experience. It's not something that you can do. It's not something you figure out. It's something that unfolds as you live, learn, and refine your real-life moments. Instead of asking, perhaps, what should I do with my cross? Ask, how is this energy already showing up in my life? I probably should do a whole episode on deep dive and demystifying the cross. Maybe I'll do that soon. And guess what, though? The Virgo eclipse energy is a perfect time to refine how you are embodying your cross. However, if you've been forcing a path that doesn't feel right, this is the time to course correct. This is a perfect time, because the astrology in March is the most active, I think, in 2025. And there's a lot of reset going on, a lot of shedding, a lot of getting clarity, a lot of questioning going on right now. So let's loosen things up a bit, because the other thing that comes up when people start talking about purpose is stress, because people get so caught up about trying to get it right that they forget one of the biggest truths. Purpose is not supposed to be solved. It's supposed to be lived. And there's another archetype in tarot that we can bring in here called the sacred fool. And the fool is the one who leaps before they're ready, who embraces the adventure, who knows that joy is just as sacred as wisdom. And what if you don't need to have it all figured out? What if your approach to things, questions, problems, challenges was curiosity and not pressure? And when you have the Sacred Fool and the Horseman ride together, they move forth with what? Faith. Not because they have all the answers, because they know that the journey itself is sort of the point of things, right? And that's where like the self-trust that I talk about so much is really comes into form. So here's a couple of reflective questions that I'm going to leave you with, because again, this energy is really intense, so don't overthink it, just sort of feel your way through it. What comes up in your body when you think about what outdated stories am I ready to release? Because this particular energy that we are experiencing right now is an excellent opportunity to like put some of those to bed for good. Not just like I'm going to release this on this full moon and then next month do the same thing. No, this is some real intense opportunity to just let it go and be done with it. Especially with the Saturn doing what Saturn did this week. How can I move forward without needing all the answers? Like how can you make it fun? What message am I actually living? Where do you feel out of integrity? So my challenge for you, instead of treating this eclipse that is like something that's bearing down on you, and I get that because this week has been very intense, and I really have felt it too. What if you just saw all of this as a reset? A chance to move forward as the horseman of your own life, bringing a message of clarity and not confusion. What if this is your moment to choose joy over fear, adventure over crisis, curiosity over pressure? So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Come find me on Instagram, Facebook. We can continue the conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs a reminder that they are not stuck, they are in motion. And that's it for today. So remember to find beauty every day and seek the magic in the mundane. Thank you for listening to the Source Code Podcast. If you found this episode insightful and feel moved to, please leave a review and share it out with those you believe will find it helpful. You can check out my website for more information at www.adrianmcdonald.com. And for more of my more regular musings, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. I hope you have a beautiful week.